We be live. Hello, everybody. Let me know if you have my audio so that we could get started. People are already confirming that they have liked the stream. Thank you so much, guys. Make sure, yep. Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you. Wow, everybody's saying done the liking, done the liking. Yes, please, guys, like the stream so that more people end up seeing the stream. When you like the stream, actually YouTube sees that people are liking, so it goes and grabs other people, even people who are not subscribed to the channel. YouTube goes and grabs them and brings them here. So please make sure to like the stream so that more people end up watching this. How's my audio? Everything okay? Seed of Iblis is also saying like. Thank you so much. My audio is good. Hello, D's here. Fantastic. All right, I'm gonna get started right away. I want to make sure I get through all the videos that I have today. Yeah, okay. People are saying the audio is good. Thank you. All right, so let's just get started. So I have videos from the UK today, and there are a lot of videos. I just have these today, and maybe in the future streams, I have a lot of videos from different countries. But today we're from the UK. Let me actually watch this one first. Yes, we're still monetized. Yeah, we are. People are asking if we're monetized still. Let me check if there's any problems. Yeah, we're good. We're good. YouTube is being better to us recently. Right. So let's just watch this whole video from the beginning to end, and then we will respond to it.
I'm PC Paul. I've been a police officer here for 16 years, and in January I reverted to Islam. Alhamdulillah, I'm very happy. Assalamu alaikum, brother. How are you?
Wait, so actually I have to give you some context before I play this, right? I'll go from the beginning, but this is a London policeman who has converted to Islam, and this was posted on the channel TRT, right? Which is a Turkish channel. And let me see how many views this got. This was a very, very popular video. Yeah, it got 700,000 views on YouTube, which is actually harder to get views on YouTube than like on TikTok or Instagram. So 700,000 views on this short video on a London police officer converting to Islam. So let's see what he has to say.
I'm PC Paul. I've been a police officer here for 16 years, and in January I reverted to Islam. Alhamdulillah, I'm very happy. Assalamu alaikum, brother. How are you? My role is to interact with the community, so it's really nice because I've been here for so long. I know the young children, I know the old, the older people, the grandparents, the parents. It's like one big family actually. So if I have a problem with a child, if they're naughty, they're being stepping out of line, I can take them home to the parents. Nobody sort of, a lot of people said, oh, inshallah, one day, Paul, you're going to you'll be Muslim. But no one really, they've not sort of tried to force or anything like this. And it's just over a period of time I started studying the Quran and I started to look into Islam. And it's just such a wonderful, wonderful, peaceful religion. In a period of 5 months, I've read the Quran twice. I've not missed a prayer. Young people, they'll come to me and they say, Paul, because I can say to them, are you praying? Because I know I'm praying all the prayers, and it's nice because they'll come and say, actually now we're praying. So alhamdulillah, it works together. Like I can rub off on them and then they will inspire me and they'll rub off on me. People have asked me, why did you choose Islam? And my answer is, I didn't choose Islam. Allah chose me, alhamdulillah. I've got no doubt in my mind, I've been put here for a reason. I'm not just a local policeman, I'm like a brother, an uncle, a son, a nephew, a friend, and I'm blessed.
All right, so let's go now through all of this line by line and respond to everything, okay?
I'm PC Paul. I've been a police officer here for 16 years.
By the way, people are saying, some people are saying this is fake. This is not fake. This is real. Okay, this is an actual London police officer who's converted to Islam.
I'm PC Paul. I've been a police officer here for 16 years, and in January I reverted to Islam.
So you see how he's saying he just recently reverted to Islam. By revert, he means converted to Islam. Again, for people who are new here, the reason why Muslims use the word revert instead of convert is because the idea is that everybody is born a Muslim. So we were all born Muslim, and then society had lied to us and corrupted our minds, and then we became non-Muslim. So like when you're a baby, the understanding is as a baby, when you're born, you are a Muslim already, and then you get corrupted, you become atheist or Christian or Hindu or whatever. And then if you convert to Islam, you haven't converted to Islam, you have reverted back to Islam. So you can see how early he already uses the vocabulary that is he's meant to be using Islamically, and he's saying I reverted to Islam, and he says Alhamdulillah, very happy. But one thing you notice throughout this entire video is that there is no reason given for why, no specific reason. So there are some vague reasons, but no specific reasons for what about Islam do they find compelling. And you get away from that by saying that I didn't choose Islam, Allah chose me. But let's see if there's any explanation here.
Alhamdulillah, I'm very happy. Assalamu alaikum, brother, how are you?
So here's another thing I've noticed. This is advertising Islam on taxpayer money, because he's wearing the uniform and he's going to people and saying assalamu alaikum. He's mentioning that he's a Muslim. So while in duty, while being supposed to be working with his uniform that is supposed to give a sense of authority, by using Islamic vocabulary, by making it clear that this is a policeman who has converted to Islam, he's using the uniform of a police officer and the authority of a police officer to give legitimacy to Islam and advertise Islam. So it's not just that he's a Muslim, he's also using your taxpayer money, your uniform that is supposed to be from a position of coming from the government, and his hours and his time that you are paying for as a taxpayer is being used to advertise Islam. I will read the super chats between the videos. Thank you, guys. And also with the TRT, like this TRT video that is being recorded of him with the background with the piano, all of this is being documented. Like they commit him while he's wearing his uniform, while he's on duty. So he's either, what is he doing on duty when he's wearing his uniform? Is he doing what he's supposed to do as a police officer, or making documentaries advertising Islam for TRT?
My role is to interact with the community.
So here's the interesting thing. My role is to interact with the community while I make it clear, while it is known that I am a recently converted Muslim, somebody that recently has converted to Islam. Your interaction with the community is now not your police duties. While you're making it clear to everybody, saying Alhamdulillah, Inshallah, Assalamu alaikum, and everybody in this area knows you as somebody who converted to Islam, you communicating, interacting with the community is basically advertising Islam from the position of the government. You are the government.
So it's really nice because I've been here for so long. I know the young children, I know the the older people, the grandparents, the parents. It's like one big family, actually. So if I have a problem with a child, if they're naughty, they're being stepping out of line, I can take them home to the parents.
Guys, I'm telling you, a lot of people think that, Islam is dangerous because they're going to come and they're going to, look at the history of Islam. They invade you, they come and threaten you and force you to submit to Islam. Nothing is more dangerous when it comes to a virus than what you're saying like that. What you're saying, this is actually more dangerous because it's easy to see how evil an ideology is when they have the upper hand and they could basically do whatever they want and force things upon you, right? But that doesn't come at the beginning. it's much harder and more difficult to see what a toxic ideology is being spread in the community, in the environment that you're living in, when somebody, an old, pleasant looking, nice police officer is coming, and you understand, you can see there's no logical arguments in here. It's just like warm fuzzy feelings about, look at me, I'm so nice, I converted to Islam, I talk and engage with the community, you put a nice piano background. This is actually more dangerous than the violent version that eventually will become once they hit a certain amount of the population, or even before that, actually, right? But this is actually more dangerous because it's easier to fight that version, that face of Islam, than this face of Islam.
Nobody sort of, a lot of people said, oh, inshallah, one day, Paul, you're going to become, you'll be Muslim. But no one really, they've not sort of tried to force or anything like this. And it's just over a period of time I started.
So it's interesting. He says, no one forced me, right? As if that comes at the beginning. So why would force be a tactic when you are the minority? Like, the Islamic way is not to use force when you don't have the power to force people to submit to Islam. It's like, nobody forced me. Yeah, nobody forced you because you don't live in Iran, because you don't live in Saudi Arabia, you don't live in Bangladesh, you don't live in Pakistan, you don't live in Egypt. You will experience forced Islam being forced upon you if you live in a place where Islam is the majority, where Islam has the power, when Islam is the upper hand. Of course, nobody is going to force you when Islam is the minority. When Islam is the minority, the tactic will be to go on a charm offensive. This is exactly the way that Muhammad, the story of Muhammad took place. Muhammad did not force Islam, and he was like, everyone could have their own religion. Just let when he didn't have the power, during the Meccan phase of his prophethood, nothing was being done by force. But when he had the upper hand, when he had the army, when he had the numbers, then it was submit to Islam or else. So this is exactly how Islam operates, and they think that they deserve credit for not forcing you to submit to Islam when they can't force you to submit to Islam. Yeah, you can't do it right now. That's why you're using other tactics. That's why you use, videos with nice piano music and a warm fuzzy. But again, even this tactic, just realize that there is no logic behind this. This is just based on feelings.
It's studying the Quran, and I started to.
Okay, so it wasn't forced on him. This was just advertised, and it worked on him, and it's working on a lot of people, by the way, guys. It's not just, so a lot of people are like, oh, just stop immigration, right? The problem is that even if you stop immigration completely right now in the UK, the population of Muslims are still going to increase dramatically in the next couple of years, because they just have more children, and people are like, oh, we'll kick them out. You can't kick them out. They are UK citizens. You need to come up, you need to start following this channel to come up with more serious solutions, because even if you say that, Armin, that solution doesn't work, well, your solution doesn't work either. You cannot kick out UK citizens. And it's not just that the Muslim population is going to have more children and they are going to be much higher in numbers even without immigration. It's also that white people and non-Muslims in the UK are converting to Islam. You might think that's, and it's much higher in numbers than you think. It's crazy how many people are converting to Islam everywhere. It's just a new thing to do. Like, it's just like a way to stand out and be welcomed into a community, right? So it's happening, and you need to take it seriously. This is not a battle that you could win with just like border control or military offensive or anything like that. This is an ideological battle. You have to join people like us who have realized that we have to go on an offensive ideologically. Like, we have to actually convince people that this is a bad ideology. You cannot just be like, oh, kick them out or like shoot them, but these don't work. You actually have to convince people out of Islam, and also people who are being tempted to convert to Islam, you have to show them what this ideology really stands for and what it actually teaches. This is the only way. And if you say, well, that doesn't work either, well, then you're screwed. I'm sorry, then you're screwed, because this is the only remaining way. But let's continue.
In the Quran.
So this part is important. It says, I started studying the Quran, which I actually will have some Quranic verses to show to this man and see what he thinks if he's ever ends up watching this video.
And aside.
Because I don't know, he says they say that they read the Quran, they studied it a couple of times. I never understand, how could these people study the Quran and then come and say that this is such a wonderful religion? Like, how did you miss the parts that I'm about to show you? And if you didn't miss, did you just like read over it without paying attention? Or are you lying that you read the Quran? Or did you actually read it and paid attention and you were like, yeah, this is fine? Because I don't know, like, I would like to talk to these people when they say they studied the Quran and they studied Islam. I want to get my hands on them and ask them, like, okay, what were you thinking when you got to this part and you were like, yeah, this is beautiful? But by the way, guys, I see all the super chats. I will respond to it after I finish this one video.
To look.
So let me see. He said he read the Quran. I started studying the Quran.
This, and it's just over a period of time I started studying the Quran, and I started to look into Islam, and it's just such a wonderful, wonderful, peaceful religion.
Oh, such a wonderful, peaceful religion. Well, let's see. Well, I'll show you some Quranic verses and see what he thinks.
In a period of 5 months, I've read the Quran twice.
Okay, he read the Quran twice, and I don't understand how he missed these parts. Like, how did he read them? Okay,
I've not missed the prayer. Young people, they'll come to me and they say, Paul, because I can say to them, are you praying? Because I know I'm praying all the prayers, and it's nice because they'll come and say, actually, now we're praying. So, alhamdulillah, it works together. Like, I can rub off on them, and then they will inspire me, and they'll rub off on me. People have asked me, why did you choose Islam? And my answer is, I didn't choose Islam. Allah chose me.
So did you have any will? Did you have any agency? So you said, I didn't choose Islam. Allah chose me. So did you have any say in the matter? Because if you had any say in the matter, that's the literal definition of choosing. If you say Allah chose me, meaning that you had no say in it, then how is that even fair? You go to heaven. So how is that even just? That Allah picks who becomes Muslim, and the ones who Allah doesn't pick go to hell. Without them, it's not their fault. Allah didn't choose them. Allah chose you. Like, how does that make even sense? But if you did have any say in the matter, then you did choose Islam. So stop playing with words and tell us why you chose Islam, because it seems like you don't have any reasonable justification for this decision.
I've got no doubt in my mind. You know, I've been put here for a reason. I'm not just a local policeman. I'm like a brother.
See, I'm not just a local policeman. I'm like a brother. Brother meaning like part of the ummah, part of the Islamic community. So it's like he has decided that his job, when he says, I'm not just a policeman, I'm like a brother. Okay? So part of the ummah, part of the Muslim community, that means that he sees his time as a police officer as an excuse to spread Islam. Your tax money is being used by this man to spread Islamic propaganda from the position of the government. It's not just that UK citizens are converting to Islam. It's now UK citizens from the position of the government are converting to Islam and advertising Islam. That's your secularism there for you.
An uncle, a son, a nephew, a friend, and I'm blessed.
Wow. All right. Well, let me see. Actually, let's start with. I specifically decided to pick Quranic verses that had to do with enforcing law, because this guy, his job is to enforce the law. And he says he read the Quran twice, and he's a police officer. I just wonder, like, does he agree as a police officer? Would he agree with enforcing these laws mentioned in the Quran? right? Because would he like, if this becomes the law of the land, would he, as a police officer, be okay with enforcing them, given that he read the Quran twice and he went over this verse and he was like, this is such a beautiful, peaceful religion? I mean, there are plenty of verses that I could show. I just picked the ones that are about enforcing laws, right? So this is Quran chapter 5, ayah 38. I know it says Baqarah up there, but it's wrong. I think if I refresh it, it will give me the correct. Yeah, no, I don't know why it says Baqarah here. So this is 5, not 2. Okay, so this is chapter 5, verse 38. It says, as for the thief, so somebody who's stole something, as for the thief, the male and the female amputate their hands in recompense for what they earned or committed, as deterrent punishment from Allah, and Allah is exalted in might and wise. So yeah, so does this police officer agree that we should cut off the hands, amputate the hands of people who steal something? Like, let's say you see a I don't know, teenager going to a store and do some shoplifting. The Quran specifically says that you have to cut off their hand. And doesn't suggest it, it commands it. So you read the Quran twice and you went over this verse and you were like, this is such a beautiful religion. Explain that to me. I don't understand how did that happen, right? So let me look at another law advertised by the Quran. This is Quran chapter 24, verse 2, says, the unmarried woman or unmarried man found guilty of sexual intercourse, lash each one of them with 100 lashes, and do not be taken by pity for them in the religion of Allah. For them in the religion of Allah. If you should believe in Allah and the last day, and if you should believe in Allah and the last day, and let a group of the believers witness their punishment. Okay, so basically, not only is asking you to lash 100 times people who have sex before marriage, it's also asking you not to have any pity for them, which is an unbelievable command. God is not just a tyrant of your actions; He's also a tyrant of your thoughts and feelings, which is an impossible ask. Like, how could you control your feelings? If you have pity for somebody, you have pity for someone. Like, you cannot control, but He sees your mind and He also wants to monitor how you feel about people, which is insane. But again, I want to ask that police officer, this is a law that the Quran advocates for. If all these young children, by our definition, children, by the Quran definition, adults, like teenagers, basically, having sex before marriage in the UK, do you agree that they should be lashed 100 times? How did you, again, and I keep repeating this part, how did you read the Quran twice? You went over this and you were like, oh yeah, that's a peaceful, loving religion. I really want to know. Was he like zoning out? Like, is the Quran that boring that he was zoning out when he was going over this verse? Somebody explain that to me. Let me see. Oh, here's another famous one when it comes to enforcing laws in the Quran. Right? So this is Quran chapter 5, verse 33. Indeed, the penalty for those who wage war against Allah and His messenger. Waging war against Allah means people who are advocating against Islam, meaning like people like me, right? Against Allah and His messenger, and strive upon earth to cause corruption. And again, it doesn't define what corruption means here. Based on the tafsirs, the commentary on the Quran, the most understanding interpretation of this is people who are spreading ideas that are contradict Islamic values, right? And the understanding by all the ulamas, natively Arab-speaking ulama on this verse is based on spreading bad ideas, because you can't wage militarily war against Allah, because it would say Muslims, not Allah, right? So this is an ideological battle, and whoever is doing that, okay, so what should you do to them? Is none but that to be killed or crucified, or that their hands and feet be cut off from opposite side, or that they be exiled from the land. That is for them a disgrace in this world, and for them in the hereafter is a great punishment. So again, this police officer who is enforcing the law, would he support a law where you crucify people Again, the Quran is teaching you to crucify people. Did he read this part? And in his mind, like, did he, again, was he not paying attention when he read the Quran? Or did he got to the crucifixion part as a punishment and he was like, oh yeah, this is such a wonderful, beautiful, peaceful religion? I really want to know. I desperately want to know, how could they read the Quran and think, yeah, this is fantastic? Or this is Hadith. How's my audio, guys? All right. How about this one? The Hadith. And again, this is Sahih Bukhari. This has been said by Muhammad. You can see by this little squiggly thing here that says Allah's Messenger sallallahu alaihi. This means that this is Muhammad. Okay, Muhammad said this, and this is Sahih Bukhari. By the way, the reason I always say sallallahu alaihi like that, okay, because this is supposed to be for respecting the Prophet. But this is Sahih Bukhari. Like, we have two main sources of Islamic hadith. One of them is Bukhari, and one of them Sahih Bukhari, and one of them is Sahih Muslim. And these are a fundamental part of Islamic teaching, second only to the Quran. You cannot separate these from Islam. This is authentic Islamic hadith. These are fundamental parts of Islamic teaching. Most Islamic laws come from the hadith, not from the Quran. And the main two, the most authentic ones that have been accepted by all Islamic Sunni schools of thought as authoritative, are Sahih Bukhari and Sahih Muslim, right? So nobody can dismiss this as a saying of Muhammad in Sunni Islam, right? So what did Allah says? What did Allah's Messenger Muhammad said, right? He said, the blood of a Muslim who confesses that none has the right to be worshipped but Allah, and that I am his apostle, cannot be shed except in three cases. So if you're a Muslim, there's only three, basically, whoever testifies, whoever becomes a Muslim, there's only three ways that you could kill them. Other than these three ways, you are not allowed to kill a Muslim. Infidels, Hindus, non-believers, okay, you could kill those, but Muslims you cannot kill unless they do three things. And the sauce for murder, so for example, if they kill somebody, a married person who commits illegal sexual intercourse, so zina, whoever has sex outside of marriage, or any other illegal sexual intercourse, for example, gay sex or whatever, right? And the last one, and the one who reverts from Islam, an apostate, leaves the Muslims. So for me, so I used to be a Muslim, now I'm an ex-Muslim. The third one says that Prophet Muhammad is saying to kill ex-Muslims. You can kill people who leave Islam. Again, I want to ask that policeman that what does he think about this law? He studied Islam and he says Islam is peaceful and beautiful. What do you think about this law? Do you endorse this? Anyways, let me go through the super chats and then go through the videos. Oh, wow. Thank you guys for all the super chats. First one by Stop Animal Cruelty with the £5 super chat is saying, my country is taking a massive hit right now. There is no good government that can win in elections. Yes. My understanding is that elections are coming soon in the UK and Labour is predicted to win easily the next elections, and they are it seems that they are a lot more easy when it comes to just allowing Islamism taking over. So yeah, I think you guys are screwed for the foreseeable future. But again, you guys need to, you can't just depend on your government. Your government sucks. You need to do this job yourself. And again, you need to fight this battle ideologically. And if you want to know how, just subscribe to this channel, because this is what we do here. Okay, and get more people to come here, because I show people what Islam. I show it from the books. I show it from the Hadith. When they say stupid things about Islam, I make it seem like it's beautiful. I mean, and if they want to come debate me, you could find me on Twitter, guys. If you are a Muslim and you want to come debate me, just look me up on Twitter. It has a blue check mark and everything. Okay, it has more than 50,000 followers. So don't look if anybody is doing a fake account of me. It's not that. It's the one that has more than 50,000 followers. Just come and debate me. Tell me how Islam is amazing. There. Carl is saying, my DMs on Twitter are open. So you can message me. Carl is saying, but you just have to show me that you could actually speak properly, like have speaking skills, have you know how to speak English, your audio is good, your microphone is good, your internet connection is good. Those are the conditions. Carl is saying, thank you so much for the super chat with the £2 super chat. And Carl is saying his boss is a Muslim. It's a career move. Well, we don't know what goes in people's minds. Yeah, I don't know why people do, like, everybody has their own reasons and they're varied, and it's really hard to read, like, it's impossible to read people's minds, right? Thank you so much for the $5 super chat by Lale. Lale saying, so glad to see this channel grow. You provide top tier analysis that people need to see. Well, thank you so much, Lale. That gives me a lot of energy. Thank you so much for saying that. I appreciate that. And then we have another super chat by Carl, £5 super chat, saying most Germans weren't Nazis, but once they took power in 1933, many joined them. Muslims took power in London, and policemen are usually authoritarian. Well, I don't want to generalize. I mean, I don't know if policemen are usually authoritarian. I don't know if there's any poll on this, or if there's any study on this. So I don't want to say that. And again, and most policemen in the UK are not becoming. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if we can connect these two together. Okay, I just respond to exactly what I'm seeing, and I'm responding to that video. If there's any data and any trends that I want to comment on, I have to see evidence for it before I can comment on it, right? I can't just guess these things. So what I just did, I just saw this video and the claims, and I can show you how ridiculous they are. That's only, that's what I do. When it comes to other claims, before I comment on it, I have to verify if it's true or not. Okay, so let's go to the second video. Let me actually bring up the verses relevant to it before I do that. And then we'll watch this all the way through. Okay, so this is the second video. So this lady in the UK, she's talking to Muslims. Okay, so this is a UK woman. Okay, and she's talking to some Muslims. This is from the channel 5 Pillars of Islam, right? So is this 5 Pillars of Islam? Let me see. Make sure. So the explanation is that she's going to explain why are Western women converting to Islam. So this is a British woman on the channel 5 Pillars, yes, 5 Pillars, which is an Islamic channel, explaining to Muslims why Western women are converting to Islam. So let's listen to her.
That you guys continue in your community, continue converting people, because we've all been stripped of our identity. Our youth don't have any identity. That's why they're coming to your ideology, giving them something to belong to. Plus the Western women, right? The Western women are meeting these Muslim men. These Muslim men are saying to these Western women, you are so precious. You are so important. I want no one to look upon your beauty other than me and Allah, right? This is what your men are telling our Western women. So I'll be your husband, right? But you'll be in the home, you'll be breeding, right? We're gonna have babies, we're gonna worship, and you're gonna cover because you're that important. So that's what you've got there. And then you've got a lot of Western men, not all of them, but a lot of Western men that are worried about what their eyebrows look like, going on sunbeds, watching the football. So what do you think is, I'm not silly here. I can see what these women are coming to. I see what's going on here. The natural instinct for a woman is to find a man that is going to be protective.
Okay, so let's go through this line by line and respond to it. And by the way, she is right. A lot of Western women are, I mean, I've seen the stats, and more women are converting to Islam than men for some reason. I don't know the reason, but she's correct about that. In the UK also, thousands of people, white people, are converting to Islam every year, and it's more women converting to Islam than men converting to Islam. So she is correct about, but I don't know if her reasons are correct, but she is correct that is happening, right? And let's see what her reasons.
You guys continue in your community, continue converting people, because we've all been stripped of our identity. Our youth don't have any identity. That's why they're coming.
Our youth have no identity. Okay, so what does she mean by that? Because yeah, we are having a crisis of identity, and she's right that that's probably one reason why people are converting to Islam. So she is correct about that. However, what do we do about that? We need to provide people with a sense of more powerful, more meaningful identity. And I always think that the best identity that we need to be promoting, because people have multiple identities, right? You could be at the same time, for example, somebody living in Canada could be Canadian, could be a father, could be a husband, could be a nurse, it could be a friend, it could be, I don't know, a hiker, a runner, biker. These are all multiple identities, right? People always carry multiple identities. But there's one identity that's supposed to be your main group identity that makes you feel part of a community, something bigger than yourself, and something that you're working with the other members of this community towards building something great, towards working and building something, a project, a great project that gives you a sense of belonging to something significant with a purpose, right? People usually answer that sense of identity, that desire for that identity with either their jobs or religion, or more modernly and more effectively and more um, productively, uh, civic nationalism, right? So our competition with religion when it comes to giving people a sense of identity should come with promoting civic nationalism. You should make people, we should do better in advertising how pleasant it is to feel like you are a nationalist or a patriot towards your country, and you're working towards making your country better. So these people who are in a crisis of identity and are converting to Islam, you should have reached these people. You should have had programs or ways or ideas to make these people feel that they're British, being a UK citizen, that identity, to be proud of that, and to feel that is providing that sense of teamwork, that sense of community, that sense of identity, to feel, to value that. Like, why have you failed at that? Like, why are people in Western countries, in United States, in Canada, in UK, in Germany, in France, failing at making people feel proud to be French, to be Canadian, to be American, to be British, to be German? Why are we failing in that? Because this is the part that we need to figure out, and this is the part that we need to, this is how we compete. This is the best way to compete. It's not just about fighting Islam, as an identity, but it's also about providing an alternative. And again, civic nationalism is the best alternative that we need to figure out a way to advertise. So continue.
To your ideology, giving them something to belong to. Plus the Western women, right? The Western women are meeting these Muslim men. These Muslim men are saying to these Western women, you are so precious. You are so important. I want no one to look upon your beauty other than me and Allah, right? This is what your men are telling our Western women.
So she's talking about hijab, like she's looking at hijab, and she says that this is she's advertising it as, she's promoting it as a sense that this shows how much men value women. That's why I don't want anyone to look at you other than me, because it's a demonstration of value and worth that they have for you. And this is true, actually. However, there's a problem with that, okay? Because there's two ways to value another human being, okay? You could value a human being as a product, right? Or you could, as a commodity or a product, as a thing to be used. Or you could value them as an independent thinking agent with mutual benefit for both agents involved, as a respect. That form of a value is love and respect, right? And she's telling the truth when she's telling you that putting hijab on women is a sign of valuing women. However, it's a form of valuing women as a in the same way that you value your car or your donkey or your camel, or your watch or your computer, right? Because you are, when you put the hijab on women, first of all, you're putting it on them. This is something that is being demanded, forced by men upon women. So it's already taking the agency away from the woman. And it's also meant to be so that other people don't use you like you're a sexual tool, and it's meant to be used by me and not others. So it's already treating you like a product in the same way that you put a lock on your car, you put the hijab on your woman. So it's because it takes it. So what is the difference between a product like a watch or a car, and the way you value them, and the way you value, I don't know, your son or your mother or your brother or your wife or your husband, okay, or your children? Like how? What's the difference? The difference is that when you value a car, they don't value you back, and you don't associate any agency. You don't see any agency. You don't give them any agency or choice. You just see that the car as something to be used, okay, and it's not mutual. Your car doesn't value you. And when you value somebody, you also care about them valuing you, right? So when you put the hijab on women, in the way that she described, like they put the hijab on you, it's their choice. It's not your choice. You have no agency. That's what they're deciding to put upon you. Like it's as if it's your decision. It's not their decision. It's your decision. So by taking agency away, in two ways, they're valuing you as a product rather than a thinking free agent. Right? First of all, they are putting it on you, the hijab on you, so they remove your agency. But also, the hijab on you is a symbol of you being useful to them from a sexual perspective, and to protect you from other men using you in the same way. So it's you being used as an object for satisfying sexual desires. I mean, it's not that it's bad for us to satisfy each other's sexual desires. But when the modern way, the way we do it today, is that we both enjoy each other sexually, and we enjoy women the same way they enjoy us, or if you're gay, whatever, like anybody, whatever they have, it's a mutual benefit. It's their agency actually makes it more enjoyable for both sides, for both parties, right? This is how we look at sexual relationship in modern times. This is how we look at it, and this is how we enjoy it, and this is a lot better, right? But the way Islamically we look at sexual intercourse and sexual desires is for the man to use the woman as a sexual object for his satisfaction. And when you put the hijab on it, this is my property. Again, it's a property. This is my property meant to be used by me, not as an independent thinking free agent that has her choice on how to protect herself if she wants to.
So I'll be your husband, right? But you'll be in the home. You'll be breeding, right? We're gonna have babies. We're gonna worship, and you're gonna cover because you're that important.
You're gonna cover. These are all the decisions. We're gonna have babies. We're gonna worship, and you're gonna cover. And these are all the decisions I have made as a man for you. Okay. So she's talking about how beautiful this is, because this is protection. This is a man protecting me and valuing me. But see how in everything she's describing, the agency has been taken away from the woman. This is how we're going to do, and I have decided, and it's going to be this way, right? It's not that there's a lot of people think that when we dismiss this as liberals or as atheists or as people who believe in modern values, it seems like they think that we're a bunch of wokies who don't even value what a man, acting masculine and being protective. We don't see any value in that. We do see value in that. But the way in modern times that you provide that sense of protection, that sense of that strength, that masculinity that many women find attractive, is the trick is to do that while also providing her with the freedom to make the decision. In fact, you have to work even harder to be protective, because if you don't do it properly, then she will go and choose someone else. But the problem, you're not actually being masculine and manly and protective if she doesn't have any other choice, because you have made the decisions for her. You have to even be more protective in the modern sense because if you're not protective enough, then she will go choose another. So she acts like this is the Islamic way of being protective. It's the only way, but it's not. It's actually an inferior way, because you're not being protective for her sake. You're being protective for your sake. If you're in Islamically, when you're being protective over women, it's because you want to defend your manliness, you want to defend your honor, and you want to also defend your property to make sure that it's there for your use and not for other people, and she doesn't have a choice to leave. So this is protection of things you own for your sake and for your standing in society. It's not for her sake. But again, we advocate for being protective over the people in your family, especially people who need your protection, but without taking their agency away from them, and for their sake, because you love them, you protect them because you love them, not to signal your manliness and not to protect them in the same way that you protect your bike from being stolen, because this is your property and you want to make sure that it's there for you. Not in that sense. You protect them because you don't want any harm. They want them to be harmed in that sense.
So that's what you've got there. And then you've got a lot of Western men, not all of them, but a lot of Western men that are worried about what their eyebrows look like, going on sunbeds, watching the foot.
I don't understand. Worried about a lot of Western men worried about how their eyebrows look like, as if Muslim men do not put time in. I mean, look at their outfit, look at their beard, look at they go through a lot of effort to make sure they have the look to fit in the Islamic community. So the more Islamic you are as a man, the more time and energy you put into making sure you have that Islamic look. So they care about how they look as well. I don't know, what are you talking about here?
So what do you think is... I'm not silly here. I can see what these women are coming to. I see what's going on here. The natural instinct for a woman is to find a man that is going to be protective.
Yeah, if you want a man that will be protective, make sure that the man is being protective for the right reasons, because he cares for you, not because he's treating you like a property, not because he's trying to defend his honor. Because a man who's being protective because he wants to defend your honor is going to mistreat you. A man who is protecting you, not because of your sake, but because of protecting his manliness and his honor, is a man that will make life a living hell for you, and sometimes might even do the most violent things to you to protect his honor. So think about the protection. When you take that protection when it comes to defending your honor to the extreme, they might even hurt or kill you, because the whole point of protection was not you. It was their honor. And if they lose control to the point that you are destroying their honor and bringing shame upon them to the point that they cannot take it anymore, things could get very violent and might even end your life. But let me actually see this wonderful, beautiful religion that is protecting women, because remember, the protection of women is not for the sake of women. The protection of women in Islam is for the sake of men. But don't just believe me. Let's look at Prophet Muhammad and how much he valued women. Okay, again, this is Sahih Bukhari, and if it's Sahih Bukhari, then it means you cannot deny that this is a fundamental part of Islam. Okay, and people who follow us here for a long time, they know that if it's Sahih Bukhari or Sahih Muslim, then it's a fundamental part of Islam that cannot be separated from Islam. Okay, so let's see. Again, Allah's messenger, meaning Prophet Muhammad. So it says, once Allah's messenger, sallallahu alayhi. Okay, so all of this means Muhammad. So Muhammad went out to offer prayer to the Musalla, right? To offer the prayer of Eid al-Adha and Eid al-Fitr prayers. So he went to do some prayers. Then he passed by the woman and said, I know a lot of you haven't seen this hadith, so you're going to be quite shocked. This is going to be very educational. Okay, so Muhammad was walking to go give some prayers, and he saw some women on his way, and this is what he said to them. Women who are watching this video, who think Islam is such a beautiful religion, this is what your prophet said about women. says, "O woman, give alms, as I have seen that the majority of the dwellers of hellfire were you, women." So Muhammad said that I have seen in hell, I have been to hell and back, and I've seen that most of the people in hell are women. So, and if you're wondering, is he Muhammad talking about all women? Well, it will become more clear as we keep reading. But yes, he's talking about all women, right? So the woman speaks back, and the woman they ask, "Why is it so, O Allah's messenger?" And Muhammad replies, "You curse frequently and are ungrateful to your husbands. I have not seen anyone more deficient in intelligence and religion than you. A cautious, sensible man could be led astray by some of you." So Muhammad is saying that women are deficient in intelligence and religion. That's what Muhammad, the Prophet of Islam, thinks about women. And by the way, if any of you are Shia here and thinking like, I don't believe in Sahih Bukhari, you have this in Nahj al-Balagha by Ali, Imam Ali as well, that women are deficient in intelligence. Right? So then it continues. The woman asked, "Oh Allah's messenger, what is deficient in our intelligence and religion?" So this part makes it clear that Muhammad is talking about all women, in case you thought that you're not part of this, right? So Muhammad responds, he said, "Is it not evidence of two women equal to the witness of one man?" So do you guys know what he's referring to here? So he's referring to the Quranic verse in the Quran that says, the Quranic verse says that you need the testimony of two women to replace one man. So the testimony of one woman is worth half of a man. So Muhammad is clarifying that the reason for that is because because that Quranic verse is about all women. The reason for that is that women are deficient in intelligence. So again, I read this part. He said, "Is it not the evidence of two women equal to the witness of one man?" They replied in the affirmative. So the women are like, yes, that's a Quranic verse. So Muhammad responds, he said, "This is the deficiency in their intelligence." And then Muhammad continues by asking, "Isn't it true that a woman can neither pray nor fast during her menses, like her period, like when she has her period? Doesn't that mean that she cannot basically pray or have fast, right?" The woman replied in the affirmative. He said, "This is the deficiency in her religion." Muhammad is saying, because you women have period, that shows that you're deficient in religion. And that's why this is why the majority of people in hell are women, because you're unintelligent and you have periods. So because you're not that good in religion, because you cannot pray and fast as much as men, which is amazing. It's amazing that he said that. I cannot believe that women convert to Islam, given that this is there. Oh, also, I wanted to show this, but I think everybody already knows this part. Quran 4:34. When you want to protect women, look how protecting women. What does it mean? So this is Quran chapter 4, verse 34 says, "Men are in charge of women, but right of what Allah has given one over the other, and what they spend for maintenance for their wealth." Okay, so because men bringing the money, they are in charge of women, because Allah has favored some men over women, right? This is the Quranic verse again. This is not even Hadith, this is in the Quran. And then it says, "So righteous women are devoutly obedient." So women should be obedient to their husband, guarding in the husband's absence what Allah would have them guard. But those wives from whom you fear arrogance or disobedience. So basically the wives that you think that they might be arrogant, not even if they're arrogant, if you just fear that they're arrogant, first advise them, then if they persist, forsake them in bed, and finally strike them. And here you see in the brackets it puts lightly, but if you actually go look at the Arabic text, it says va'azrabahunna, and there's no lightly in the actual Arabic text. These things in bracket were added by the translator, even though they were not in there. So it just, the Arabic text only says if they keep being disobedient, just strike them. It doesn't say strike them lightly, it just says strike them. Ba'azrabuhunna. See, there's no lightly here. Okay? So you have to hit your wife if she's being disobedient. But if they obey you, once more, seek no means against them. Indeed, Allah is ever exalted and great. Okay, so this is protection in Islam for women. You know, you get beaten up if you are disobeying your husband. Again, if you are a woman who is supporting this, shame on you, because you are supporting an ideology that is promoting violence against other women, and you are betraying other women by endorsing this religion. Like, shame on you for supporting an ideology that promotes wife beating. There is no excuse for this. Let me remove these videos that we already watched. Let me see the super chat. So we have 15 shekels from the Jew who believes in Ezra. Okay. Shalom. Saw you on AP, followed you here. Awesome stuff. Well, thank you so much. Well, do you believe in Ezra as the son of God? Because that's what you're supposed to believe in, according to Muslims, right? So not just believe in him, but you have to believe that he's like the son of God, like Jesus is for Christians, according to Islam. Again. But thank you so much for the 15 shekels. And now we have a £2 super chat by Stop Animal Cruelty. And the super chat says, I sent DM on Armin account, different name on X. No, my name is Armin Navabi on X or Twitter. It's this Armin Navabi. If you sent it to somebody with a different name, that's not me. It's Armin Navabi. The link to my Twitter link is in the description. I'm gonna refuse to call it X and see how long I could take this, because I'm just gonna keep calling it Twitter. Yeah, I don't know if you guys agree with that. Okay. Oh, their name. Oh, sorry. Your name is different on. Yeah, I misunderstood that completely. Let me see if I got your message. Well, what's your name on? Okay, I saw your message. I will respond to these later, but thank you. Yeah, guys, if you message me, so yeah, thank you, D, for clarifying this. So if you send me a message on Twitter, mention that we talked here on this on the super chats on YouTube. Just to FYI, I mostly respond to people who are Muslim, who want to debate me and can make it clear that they are capable in speaking English well, and they have good internet and whatnot, and good microphone. That's who I respond to the most, because I don't want to just chit chat with people that I have agreements with most of the time. I want some challenge. Okay. I will try to respond to messages as much as possible, but most of the messages that I respond to are people who I disagree with, either on Islam or on Israel. So if you're anti-Israel, I would be interested in talking to you. Or if you're pro Islam, I'm also interested in talking to you. You don't even have to be Muslim. You could just be pro-Islam. Okay. Let's watch this one. So what is this about? Wait, let me see. Do we have time for this? I'm going to try to do this one really quick. Why are West... No, wait. Maybe I'll do this another day. Let me just do this one, because this one is shorter. Yeah, let me just do this very short one. That video that I was going to show you was very important, but today I need to get ready for my Persian show. So I'll just do this one. Let's just watch this all the way through. And then we'll do this other video on another day. But let's focus on this one today. So let's go from the beginning.
So I spoke about this on one of my lives recently, about my recent trip to Norwich, where I turned up to the masjid and most of the people there were like white reverts. Crazy, like genuinely most of the people there, people who had like become Muslim, British people. And it's fascinating. It makes me think and wonder what life is going to be like in the UK in like 20, 30 years time when reverting to Islam's like caught on more. I mean, subhanAllah, we've got to think how lucky we are to even be in a time where it's so easy to people to access information about Islam. But yeah, I can't. It was so shocking when I walked in and saw it, and all of these brothers, like, you know how people speak in like the east coast of England, like where they've got that kind of like Norfolk kind of farmer accent, and then they were saying, you know, alhamdulillah, inshallah. Crazy to see. Crazy to see.
So this man here himself, he is a revert or a convert to Islam, and he's going to a mosque and he's noticing that most of the people in the mosque are white UK citizens that are now Muslim, and he's like, the mosque is full of, you know, people who have converted to Islam, and he's wondering about what will happen if this trend keeps on going. By the way, even most Muslims in the UK are not reverts. Most Muslims are, you know, either immigrants or children of immigrants who were Muslim to begin with, right? However, even if the minority of Muslims in the UK are reverts, that is extremely powerful. Do you understand that when it comes to propaganda, you don't need much reverse to be able to become extremely more influential when it comes to spreading, because this will not become an immigration issue anymore. This is not going to be an outsider versus insider. If you have a decent amount of Muslims in the UK, just like hundreds of thousands, you don't need millions. You just need hundreds of thousands of white-looking, Caucasian-looking Muslims in the UK for this to become now a completely inside ideology. Like it's a decent enough mix of immigrants and children of immigrants and Caucasian people for this ideology to now be a UK ideology, because nobody could come and present this ideology as an outside ideology that is coming in. It's now part of this land. It's now part of the culture, and it will always be seen as part of the UK if you have enough of these people. And by the way, this is what I've seen some people refer to as reverse assimilation, right? So you guys know that we have two forms of multiculturalism, right? We have pillared multiculturalism, and you have assimilative, I think called assimilative. Is that what it's called? Assimilative multiculturalism, right? Assimilationist multiculturalism, right? And pillared multiculturalism. So pillared multiculturalism is when people come in and you have different pillars. You have different groups of people with different cultures. They don't assimilate, right? And then you have assimilationist multiculturalism, where people are expected to come in but adopt the values and norms and the standards and the culture of the community that they're coming into and change their ways and assimilate, right? However, apparently now we have a third model, which is reverse assimilation, right? Which is you come in, not only you do not assimilate, but not only you keep your culture and keep your values and keep your standards, but you also get the people who are native to this land to adopt your values and your culture and your identity. And that is reverse assimilation. And it's a new method, I would say. Well, it's not new, it's actually quite ancient, but it's an alternative to colonization. When you don't have an army to when you don't have the force or a method to colonize a place, reverse assimilation is basically the method that you go with, right? I'm not saying if it would be successful or not, but it's basically an alternative to colonization. So this is the UK being slowly, there's a slow attempt at what colonization used to do to other countries being done to UK, which again some Muslims kind of celebrate as only fair, given that UK colonized Islamic countries in the past, they're like, okay, well, now we're doing that back to you, but slowly and gently and without you noticing and without us using arms because we don't have the power. So this is the thing. Islamic countries are weaker, pathetically weaker than Western countries. So the only way to attack your enemy when you don't have the upper hand is to go and change their values and the standards that made them such great countries and such great societies from within, because you cannot defeat them in a confrontational way. So this is how it's done. This is how it works. This is, you go and change them from within, corrupt them from within instead, right? So yeah, and again, this is the same blueprint Muhammad used when he didn't have the upper hand, when he didn't have the power. You go to people, and you guys, we cannot just look at this on this channel and be like, oh my God, yeah, this is what's happening. You guys have to come up with a solution. Like, oh my God, England is going to SHIT. Again, I have to be polite here or else YouTube will demonetize this. Or France is gone. I don't know, Germany is fallen. Like, oh my God, boo-hoo. Yeah, but what are you going to do about it? Okay, because you cannot keep saying, like, send them back home. Send who back home? UK citizens? You cannot just say, like, let's stop immigration. Well, it's not going to matter. Even if you stop immigration, the population is going to increase. What are you going to do about it? You have to fight in providing an alternative identity. This is in response to a crisis of identity. You need to fight this battle ideologically. How you cannot just cry about this, and you cannot keep just providing solutions that are not going to work. You have to go on an ideological battle. Join me here on this channel on Atheist Republic to go on an ideological battle. Provide people with alternatives, better alternatives, alternatives that actually work, which is liberalism, secularism, and civic nationalism. We have shown that these ideas work. And again, we have to go on this ideological battle, not on just a defensive mode. We have to go on an offensive mode in two ways. We cannot just warn people not to convert to Islam. We have to go to people who are Muslim and get them to either leave Islam or take Islam less seriously, to become doubtful about their Islamic beliefs, or at least take their other forms of identity more seriously than their Muslim identity. That has been done. That can be done. So that's one way that to go on an offensive mode, but also to not play this battle, to not fight this battle in liberal Western countries. You have to fight this battle in Islamic countries, in the Middle East, in Indonesia, and in Malaysia, and in Bangladesh, and in Egypt, everywhere. You have to go there. You cannot just be like, stay in the fight this here. And again, this is why Israel and Iran are the key countries, because they have their bases here. So like London is becoming one of their bases, right? For example, they have their bases here. They're going on offensive mode. We have to go on offensive mode as well. What are the bases that we have? Our liberal centers in the Middle East. The two main centers that we have right now is Iran, which we are going on an offensive mode, and Israel. This is why Iran and Israel are key in this battle. So again, I have been saying these for a long time, but I keep repeating them for the people who are new here. Let me read the super chat. Angie, thank you so much for the $5 super chat, saying thank you as always for pushing truth. Well, thank you. Hopefully it will get to the right ears. Well, guys, if you like the stream, more people, it will get into more ears. So please make sure you like the stream. And I see a lot of people are watching this on Twitter. Okay, 300 people are watching this on Twitter. Please make sure to come on Atheist Republic's YouTube channel and subscribe to us there, because that's the most important place where we could fight this battle. Okay, it's our Atheist Republic YouTube channel. So make sure you come here and subscribe to our channel over there. But yeah, please, guys, at least like the stream. And again, if you want to help even more, comment after the stream is over. Leave a comment for the algorithm. It will get more people who end up seeing this if you leave a comment. And recommend this channel, Atheist Republic channel, to people to come subscribe here. Well, $20 super chat. Thank you so much. The super chat says, I'm very recent to the debate regarding the Israel versus Palestine conflict. Radical Islamism seems to be a big issue globally. I used to be indifferent about Islamism, but now I am becoming anti-Islam and pro-Israel by the day. Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. I really appreciate you being able to change your mind on things. That's very good to see. And by the way, guys, I'm anti-Islam. I am pro-Muslim in the sense that I would defend their rights, their human rights, their freedoms, their their right to be safe from abuse. And here's an interesting thing I always say here, okay? Being pro-Israel is actually helps us in being anti-Islam, but pro-Muslim at the same time. You know why? Because Israel is the best country in the Middle East to be a Muslim, right? This is what a lot of Muslims who are anti-Israel don't understand. Both Arab and Muslim, right? No Arab country gives you the same rights and freedoms to Arab citizens as much as Israel does. As much as the rights and freedoms that Arabs enjoy in Israel is more than Arabs enjoy in any other Arab country. The rights and freedoms that Muslims enjoy in Israel is more than the rights and freedom that the Muslims enjoy in any other Muslim country. I'll challenge you. Show me that. There's no better place to be a Muslim or an Arab than Israel. Oh, thank you so much. From Ahmad, we got another super chat. Oh, that's well, facts. Yes, thank you so much, Cosmo. But let me actually see. Ahmad is saying, "Hi, brother. I love Israel. When I leave Islam 2 years ago." Okay, well, you left Islam 2 years ago and you love Israel. Well, yeah, I love Israel too. Okay, to be fair, I support every country. I defend every country. Every single nation state deserves defending. But Israel requires more defending because Israel, no country's existence is being challenged as much as Israel's existence. And Israel is such a key country for us when it comes to promoting liberal values, when it comes to promoting our ways, civic nationalism, liberal values, and to be a base for our operations against Islamic values. No country is as important as Iran and Israel when it comes. But Israel's existence. So, and also when it comes to Iran, the people of Iran are being challenged more than most countries. But Israel is quite unique when it comes to its very existence. No country on the planet, its very existence as a country existing. I challenge you to show me another country that is. There's so many people, millions and millions of people around the world that are that have made their life's mission to make Israel stop existing. That's why it requires a defense. Anyways, guys, I'm gonna go get ready for my Persian show. So for people who don't know, this channel has a sister channel which is in Persian for a mostly Iranian audience, right? So we have an English channel, Atheist Republic, and the Persian sister channel is called Jumhuriye Bi Khodayan. Jumhuriye Bi Khodayan is just Persian for Atheist Republic. So if you speak Persian, make sure you are subscribed to that channel as well. Anyways, I'm going to go get ready for that channel and the show I have there. Thank you for being here. Thank you for liking. Thank you for leaving a comment. And thank you for recommending this channel to your friends and your enemies. Make sure, especially your enemies, recommend this channel to your enemies. Anyways, thank you guys. Bye. Till next stream. Mwah.